Today, I just had an epiphany. And I don't like going on live, you know what I'm saying, and just talking, but sometimes the thoughts just hit me. And I actually had this thought while I'm up here working on things around the house before I do my thing. But I had an exchange with my daughter that I'm unhappy and unpleasant about. I'm kind of not feeling really good about. And I don't normally share things about my personal life when it comes to my kids, like my interactions. Everything isn't going to be, perfect when it comes to your kids. You know what I mean? Love and whatnot, yeah, that's one thing. But when it comes to your kids, it's a different story. You leave those things out. You omit those things. However, the epiphany that I had is connected. It's connected to this whole thing. We oftentimes get upset about this thing and that thing. You know, you divert your attention, your focus to, oh my God, that happened. I'm upset with that person. Oh my God, that happened. I'm upset with that thing, that situation. I'm upset with myself in the midst of that turmoil, that circumstance. But I'm walking through the house and it's just like, dude, this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third, this, that, and the third. And it hit me. It's like, wait, okay. So boom. And I got the answer for literally every subsequent relationship or union beyond the first one. Now, hopefully I don't forget it because I'm getting older and I forgot what they call it when you Alzheimer's. I feel like I got Alzheimer's, but I have the answer to everything when it comes down to this. It just hit me. It's fascinating, right? So I had an issue with my daughter today. I sent her, and I'm going to be candid about this, and I'm going to be forward and basically express exactly what happened. Not in detail because not everything is for everybody, but so I sent something, and I'm normally secretive about my kids. Like I don't like showing their pictures. However, I already got to a point where I was showing their pictures. I was proud. They were doing things. They're out there. And their mother posts pictures, and they post pictures of themselves. My daughters. Speaking of my daughters, so I don't show my twins. I don't put pictures on social media when it comes down to them. Because if I can just keep pictures of my kids, discreet, I would. But those two are left, so I sent them a video of their little brother because they don't get to see him much, and not due to my doing, But I sent a picture and I said that almost caught it too. I'll break this door down. I haven't even bust anything up. Cool. So, and I said I'm not the one. He said just to keep you from your brother. I will never keep you from family. And unfortunately, my daughter took that the wrong way for whatever reason. I guess she thought that was implications. I was implying something from the past. I guess when it comes to her mother and seeing me, I didn't. That's not what I was intending. I was actually breaking a barrier within myself because I had it, and I was concerned about the security of Aiden and Mila, but Mila's no longer with us. Granted, but I sent her the video, and she screenshot it. I said, I kind of questioned her about it. She told me one thing and said, I'm playing. And I said, oh. I was like, don't be strange. And I'm saying this because I would never tell any dialogue between me and my daughters. Me in past female situations, yeah. But it hit me. It hit me. So basically, we had a light disagreement. And sorry, I just can't even breathe talking about this, but because I don't ever like to disagree with my daughters in any way. I just want to share love. But it hit me. There was a breach of, I guess, admiration. I adored them, and to a certain extent, it seems like they adore me. But my youngest living, she had a moment, and it's not the first time, but she had a moment where I don't think it's, I think it was she didn't know when to pause. And I think that was a lack of there's always like, okay, I love you, I love you, I love you. How much do I respect you? Right? I respect who you are. But then there's, okay, how much I respect who you are to me. Then there's different areas of admiration. There's different areas of respect. There's different areas of attractivity. You know, there's different areas of bonds and unions. So long story short, it hit me because a lot of people have this issue in their life. Okay, I've been in this marriage, I've been in this bond, I've been in this relationship, and why isn't it working after? And then you say, okay, you know, I'm not holding on to this love for this person, or I'm not allowing the love that I have for this person to affect the love that I have for this person. But then it's like, okay, wait. And then it hit me because I had to think of my own personal situation with my twin's mother. And a lot of times we get funky about certain things with a person, and we think that this person may be weak, or they're too strong, or they're arrogant, and and this, that, and the third. And then I had to look at myself, right? I looked at myself and I had this epiphany, and I said, yo, Al, what's up, what's up? When it comes to my twin's mother, it wasn't more so the weaknesses and the inconsistencies of her. It was the things that I saw that would affect me. Watch this, that would affect me based on my previous situation. I was leaving the bedroom, and it was like, wait, and it came to me. When you meet someone, you only hope that they can be this. You kind of put expectations on them. You say, I want you to be this. I'm hoping you can be this for me. Knowing that you can't be everything that I want or need. And if you find that, you were so lucky. It happens every once in a while that one person becomes what you want and what you overall, and basically what you overall need. Because even when you talk Bible, it says that the Creator will grant you your needs according to, the abilities of his glory. I don't put agenda on God, or Jesus, whatever. But you'll have measures, a measure. And I realized you encounter that first initial bond, that first moment where you love someone, you're with them, and it doesn't work out. Or some young ladies have issues with their dad. Some young men have issues with their mom. So now that plays a part. But whatever bond is broken, most likely within that first initial relationship where you open up and you like, okay, I'm gonna try this. And then you look at a person's history and you say, dang, she been with this guy, she been with that one, she been with that one, or he's been with that one, had babies by this one, had babies by that one, she had babies with this one, had babies with that one. And you're subconsciously actually judging the person's ability to manage your past. Your past. If you didn't have that past, you wouldn't look so deep at their present and how much how much you can be confident in their ability to maintain within your present based off your past. Oh man, whew, I felt that one. I ain't on no preaching terms, and I'm not trying to be spiritual, but good vibes are marinating all over me right now, like Sonic the Hedgehog when you put the IDKFA, IDDQD, whole A, press start 4126 on Sega Genesis. It's hitting me right now. I feel it, like, when you get like 50 to 100 rings, and then you jump up in the air, and you like, boom, and then Sonic has this ability, like I'm feeling like this aura. So you're basing your thought process over another person based on your past. And I kept for about 15 to 28, how old am I? My oldest, about 16 years, I've been sitting there marinating. Okay, we always point fingers at each other. You this, you that. What did you do wrong? Alan, you did Alan. Or Al, or Suavo, or ALj, what, like, you, Al, you did this. Jay, what's up, man? Jay. Then you look at the other people in your life and you say, well, I'm gonna say some random names. Jules. You're talking to yourself. If you're a woman, you know, you say, oh, Christina, or Shantavia. Like, you're just saying names. You know, females I know, my homegirls and jabs. I'm just putting out names, you know what I'm saying? So the whole message, the point of what I'm saying is, you can't base their present, their character, their personality, their present on your past. That is my mistake. I can say that about me. It took me a while to marinate and try to figure out what it was about me, of trying to level up someone to be my mirror. I may be strong. I had my homegirl ask me, can I come over? It's not for that. Can I come over? You know what I'm saying? And I didn't want to come over because I didn't want to, you know, that's not me. You know what I mean? Especially not here. But with all due respect, you know what I'm saying? That's not here. You know what I'm saying? But she was upset with me. Okay, cool. All right, got it. So she was upset with me. And she said, Al, I was coming. I need to come by because you're strong. Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday. You turned 13. That's what's up. That's what's up. Salute, salute. You're a teenager now. You know what I mean? Make the right choice and make the right decisions, and always seek the Creator to be guided. Don't make the wrong decisions. Everything you have to always seek wise counsel. Always go somewhere and talk to someone about what you do before you do it, because they may know something and possibilities, but don't be swayed by them always, because you seek the counsel, but you look above for the actual decision. If I say anything, happy birthday to you. Salute, salute. But I didn't allow, and I have to be careful what I say because now I know I have young people watching, younger people. I didn't want my friend to come over, my young lady friend to come over, because that's not who I am. It's not what I do. And she responded, you turned me away from our friendship because, no, at a time where I needed you. She said this. She said, you're strong. She said, you're strong. And I said, and it hit me. I'm sitting there reading the text message. And I'm like, man. She said, I needed you to be strong with me and for me at this time. Long story short, back then I had a premonition. And I told the person, it was a woman that I knew, a premonition. She lives in San Antonio. I said, I think you need to get checked out. She eventually got checked out. She had cancer. Just something hit me. And I told her. And she kept coming back. And she beat it twice. And I told her again. She beat it again. Now she's married and happy with the new dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? She was married and now she has somebody new. Long story short, the young lady said, you're strong. And I needed your strength. You're the only one I know I could turn to. And because of that strength that I need. And I'm just like, man. But you can't expect everybody to be like you. And you have to celebrate the good about them. And that's all I can say about that. The question is, when you bring someone, you have to really ask them, hey, this is what's in my past. This is why I put my previous situations on social media. I'm bearing my all. And I feel good vibes even doing this. I'm bearing my all when it comes to my truth. This is what it is. I'm not ashamed of my ex-wife. I'm not ashamed of my daughter's mother. And I'm damn sure not ashamed of me. And you already don't have to ask. I'm not ashamed of my twins' mother. The fact that when I thought I was done, I had more, especially in my 30s. We're not perfect. And I can't look at everybody knowing that I'm not perfect. I may have the answers, but hey, I didn't have those answers when I made those decisions. I was acting maybe of impulse. I was being immature, or just acting out of a place inside of me without thinking about the one thing that makes us men other than what we have down there. It's our logic. Sometimes you act off of what's inside here instead of what's inside here. And to my children's mother, at that time, I don't think I should be penalized because I actually finally did think here. Ironically, I'm wearing this. I didn't think from here. I thought from here. You know, but that's what it is. You can't expect too much from somebody based off of what you didn't expect yourself to do at that situation. Because let's say I never had children before her. speaking from my own situation. Let's say I never had children before for Meg. Meg would have a clean slate, and I wouldn't have expectations. And I had this conversation with my daughter's mother the other day, and I talked about expectations, and it's not good. And she said, "Not for nothing, you do place expectations on people sometimes." And I said, "Yeah, you're right." And I didn't argue. No, I was wrong. If you're able to look yourself in the mirror, like I can see myself. I can't see all y'all, but if you're able to look yourself in the mirror and say, "Hey, I was wrong," you can't lose. Because that means nothing is stopping you from moving forward, because you're not holding on to a truth and putting it to the side. You have to adhere to that truth. There's another thing I got to say as far as the house and the home. The moment that father's out the home, this is something that a lot of young ladies who are watching might get turned off from, but I'm going to tell it. The moment you take that father out the house, the chain of command from the mother down is set, but now the child, whether male or female, will look at that father. And the love might be there. The honor might be there. But there's a respect level that goes down, because now they feel that the main adversity that they can have upon growth and maturity, they have a leg up and a foot over. And then when you're, as a father, I'm told you, man, when that child starts talking to you in a certain way, and they realize they have the ability to, okay, when they realize they have the ability to, it's over. I'm not going to lie to you. And then you have to kind of go back to the mom and hope the mom can put that into subjection for you, because you're not at a place where you can chastise them. You're not at a place where you can discipline them. Because now they have automatically have this title of adulthood on them that they really been seeking, that they can't get from the mother, but they damn sure can get it from you. And if you're a child out there, you're a child out there who's under just your mom's house mostly, you might want to listen to this. Don't you stop respecting your father. Don't you stop honoring your father. Because even in the Bible it says, honor your mother and your father, for your days might be long upon this earth. I've had a lot of life-threatening situations, and probably 60% of it was because I saw my parents in a certain light. That's just what it is. It's the truth. But I'm not going to tarry, because I got to get back to other things, putting this door back up and different things around the house, doing the roof and the ceiling, did the roof yesterday, and I got to get out back on the road. But I tough times, you know what I'm saying, show who you are. But long story short, don't place the weight of your past on somebody else. However, they got to work with you too. If they accept that position, they have to be strong enough to work with it too. And know that you're dealing with that, and that's your weight. It's teamwork. That's what it is. But you can't put too much expectations on them. And the asterisk before I actually press this button, if they're not there yet, you got to be patient with them. Why? Because if we were perfect, we wouldn't be here. We would be angels. The whole purpose of being here is to learn. Before we go to the next spot, if there is another spot, that's for you in your life to kind of figure out. But take time. Give them time. Give them time. Even with me, give me time. I'm not perfected yet. My thoughts are now more perfected than they ever were. But my life don't necessarily prove perfected. Things have to come into alignment within people before they even come into alignment of them with you. And once you realize that that person isn't all the way in alignment with themselves, you're good. Because now you know what you're working with. At least they're not putting up a front or not being who they are. A transparent person is easy to work with initially. I'm not saying your tolerance can hold up with them and their ways of being transparent, but they're easy to work with because you know what you're working with. If you look at a chessboard, you're like, you see that knight is on what? F7, and you see that rook maybe on what? B5? And you're like, okay. And you see those pieces where they are. You see the king is kind of out there, but he should kind of be back in the cut. But the queen moved out a little bit ahead of him on a diagonal basis, so you know she got him, the most powerful piece, even though he's the most authoritative piece on the board. A lot of times we get that twisted. The king on that board is the most authoritative piece, no matter how much power that queen has. But she knows to refer to the king. The king can also delegate and defer to that queen. I'm still learning how to delegate. You know, somebody who does a remote position and kind of puts themselves, who's probably watching this right now, puts themselves in front of certain people in high positions in places of authority, actually told me about a month and a half ago, I need to better delegate. You know, a lot of times I do things and I like to do it by myself. If I clone myself to maybe one and a half or two, two other people, two other clones, I would. But that's not how that works. You know, but we have to also learn how to delegate. Oh wait, I can use this. Oh, this is perfect. I can use this. Anyway, I gotta go. I gotta get back to doing stuff. You know, back to music and working out. But that hit me. Those scenarios around in your life, man, and try to see where the other person is coming from. And the other asterisk is make sure that their agendas line up with you. I think it's okay for people to have agendas. Agendas ain't bad. Only problem with agendas is when the agendas become selfish. If your agenda is 20 to 40% selfless, then you're okay, because you have to put yourself first in order to be able to be what you need to be for everybody else. It's the first, that last 20 or 40% that you have to really think about the people that's involved in that agenda. A lot of times, I mean, I'm not trying to be cruel to women as a whole, because not every woman is like this, but there are women out there who are looking for babies for child support, right? They already know what their plan is coming into the situation. I'm not insinuating anything. Please don't look their gift horse in the mouth. You have some women who want to get after the guy because he's in the military and wants to move up in rank. It happens all the time. You have women out there who got with NBA players who actually was at the pinnacle of their career, and after he retired, they left him. You know, everybody, those type of agendas, and some of them are really nice. You know, you can go with your father, be with your father, as long as I'm getting my money. And then I don't know. And you have some men who like, yo, I got to get her pregnant in order to keep her. That doesn't work. Yeah, she bad. And sometimes a woman isn't a 10, but she's so hot and attractive because her personality and character matches up. And she's desired by other men. And in that circle of network, that man wants to be the one to say, I had her. And they'll trap the woman with the baby. You know what I mean? Like, trapping doesn't just, it's not just with women. Trapping is everybody. People trap. That's why they have a show called Trap Queens. Because trapping is not just in the hood. Trapping could be legislature. That could be in Congress. You know, you have women who got to attorney general, like things like that. They caught them and prosecuted them. It's the way we live, and the times are tough. People are starting to respond to life and other means. Even with businesses, me doing what I do out here on the road, right? My truck, I had my truck under authorities that weren't legally able to operate. I had my authority, but their authority was jacked up. They actually produced paperwork that wasn't valid, that wasn't legal. They conjured up those documents. I could have went to prison for damn near at least 8 years. We're in hard times. But you just have to watch out for what people do. The rates are going down per mile for company drivers, and the rates on loads are going down for owner operators and those alike. It'll be back up next year, and people have to make it to them, but you just gotta know your lane and know your avenue. I kind of want to address the whole topic at here, and I was also the victim of that too. Oh, I want to say one more before I go. Expectations from women on that, man. A lot of times, there are young ladies, women, who haven't had things done by their own father. It's not that the father did something to mess it up. Sometimes the father didn't do something. So now that woman expects that man in her life to do the things, and they don't know to what extent that the man should do it, but they know, okay, this is what I was missing, and this is what he should do. This is what he should do because I know this is what that man should do. No, that's not how it works. It's not how it works. It's a balance. And if you follow the guidelines of what your heart tells you, then you'll know, because your heart will tell you to be more considerate. Your heart will tell you to listen. Your heart will tell you to be strong in this situation. Because after a certain amount of time, you're like, okay, well, I'm not going to turn my back, but I'm not going to allow you to do me wrong. And then you'll see sometimes it works out for the best. I had to do something 3 weeks ago that destroyed me emotionally, and I was already wrecked at that moment. But it worked out. It's for a family member. It worked out. Expectations are crazy, man. We all have them. We all have them. I expected not to to assume a house. I had 2 or 3 problems that weren't listed on documentation. Expectations. It's part of life, you know. It's about what you're going to do. Adversity, my pops always taught me, adversity is something that you're going to face at some point or another. And as a man, Junius, as a man, it's how you deal with those adversities. Relationship shouldn't be an adversity. They shouldn't be. After they're over, bonds, you know, relationships with people, whether it be intimate or family, should never be that way. But again, don't put expectations and ideology on the person that you're currently with based on who was there before. Again, me speaking for myself, I expect strength, and you know, even though there's weakness, I expect certain things. But everybody isn't there. And that's where growth and development, when 2 people, or maybe polygamy or whatever, polytheistic, you know, that's spirituality. I'm speaking crazy now. I'm about to log off this. But whether it's 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, it's possible out there. It's done. It's being done. But 2 people get together. They're supposed to learn. You're not going to be perfect, because you're learning that person, so that some of y'all may be seen as delusional, but this one aspect is very true. When 2 people are molding and then being intimate, you can't adhere and adheres and cohesion, right? Cohesive. We think adhesive. Adhesive is the exterior kind of portion. Okay, adhesive and cohesion. So you can't do neither of the 2 if you're not learning. You can't bond if you don't figure out how they fit. You look at the You can't bond with the person and not learn about them. So if you're with someone and they tell you something and say, "Hey, this bothers me," you know, even I speak as if I'm the culprit. Al, this bothers me. Tiff, this bothers me. Autumn, this bothers me. Baby, this bothers me. Little Al, this bothers me. You can't hear something that affects the other person that they're not considerate. For example, I know that there's a certain way that a certain young lady responds in my past. She gets anxious, and it'll seem like she's getting anxious about that one thing that we're currently trying to diffuse. But I was wasting my time. We were wasting our time trying to diffuse that one situation. And in learning her, I realized that she's still affected by this situation. So every time she responded this way, I feel it again. Every time she responds this way, it was because of that one thing that may seem little to me because it's not my life, but it's our journey at that time together. But to her, it seemed significant. And the more she tried to put that in the back of her mind, it surfaced to the forefront. And at that moment, that which we thought she was upset about was what? The cut that allowed the bleeding to take place. Learn each other. If a person is responding to you the same way, that's why they say insanity is what? You do things differently. A lot of times, a person in that situation may be doing things intentionally. You get frustrated with them. For example, this is the most extreme example I can give, which I shouldn't give this one. I should go to a lesser, but I don't have time to waste your time. So, one time, I won't mention any names. This young lady and I was on the road, and we were relocating certain things to a different state. And I knew I could have took the conversation a certain way, but I allowed the conversation to escalate. Why'd you do that? You say, you're a man, you're supposed to guide it to peace. Once or twice, I allowed myself to allow the moment, because I knew that, how you say cap, I knew that I had a cap to me. And as long as I'm in control of me, I'm okay. As long as you're in control of yourself, that's discipline. As long as you're in control of yourself, you're okay. Dominating another person is different, but in every scientific experiment, there's a control. So what was this situation for me? Okay. So we were speaking about certain things, and I knew that this young lady I dealt with, she was to herself, she was, what's the term? I forgot the term. You know, when you got outspoken, and then you got, I say this all the time. I'm very upset that I forgot this word. But she basically was to herself, and she kept quiet. She wasn't. I hate that. I wish somebody could type this word, but she was quiet. I forgot the word. But I wanted her to be able to express herself freely with me. There's many ways to do this, and I chose this one moment because you can be intimate and be considerate. Your birthday was a couple of, oh, okay. Nice, that's what's up. But I wanted her to be able to express herself and know that she can bounce her frustrations and her emotions off of me and be secure that I won't respond the way I possibly do in her past did. Once she realizes that she can express that, she's very frustrated. She knows that she doesn't have to hold it in all the time. Something had to happen in her past where it was imprinted on her that what? I can't say what I want to say. Whether it be with me or with somebody else that happened before her, she couldn't say what she wanted to say with me. And I hope if it was me, forgive me that she couldn't speak her piece, even though I always want a woman who's dealing with me to be able to speak her mind. I may not always agree, and damn, you may not always agree with what I say, but at least be straight up. And so at that moment, what I did was I allowed the frustrations to increase. I allowed the pus and the pimple to increase so it can release. And I didn't mind because I did it on my terms to where I was able to receive it. Sometimes a person may come at you and you're not able to receive it. But if you're able to encourage that, and then after that, we was laughing. Like literally after. So now that imprinted on her that every conversation that we have can still result in laughter, no matter how far it goes. We're still friends. We're intimate, but we are still friends. And that's what I did. And she ended up in turn saying what? Al, I don't like you. I don't like talking to you when we're disagreeing, because every time we disagree, I can never stay mad at you. Why? Because that door was open for you to feel like you can communicate with me and laugh with me after the disagreement. But it takes those rough edges in the beginning. That's what, look at it. Look at it like this. People get married, right? People get married. And you say those first 3 to 5 years are what? The most horrible years. If you can get past that, boom, boom, boom. Because technically, I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm speaking off of just, this is not facts. This is just me speaking as a man. So don't hold me to this. But when y'all women get married, y'all become something totally different. So now we gotta learn y'all all over, even though the process already started. Because now you're like, there's expectations from two people in a marriage that should have already been there. That's like, and a lot of times they say, and I'm not knocking Christianity for this one, though, but you can't do things before marriage. Yeah, I understand. If that's what you choose, that's what you choose. But you're always learning somebody. The moment you meet them, you're learning things about them. It's your choice to decide whether you want to learn those things about that person in order to work with them. A lot of times it's not too much. It's a matter of, do I have the time, tolerance, and does it conflict with our journey? Is it too much? Is it too complicated as a distraction from what we got? Now, if learning them is a distraction from the focal point of what we're trying to do and where we're going, then you got to step away. And I came to that point with one or two main frames. It doesn't change anything about them. The love is always there. It's just that, does it take me away from what I am trying to do altogether? There's a vision and there's help. Hence the word help. Mate. Hence the word man. It's just that simple. We live in a society where now the woman wants to be the alpha. Can't live like that. It's okay to be an alpha, but you can't be the alpha. In a codependent situation, someone has to lead, and as long as that man is being led, I used to be like, nah, you don't need God. You don't need God to, lead you. As long as you know what you're doing, you're learning. But there's a part of you that has to be guided, bro. Everybody, every dude, you got to be guided. You can't lead if you can't follow. How do you know what the subordinates are feeling or what they're thinking, even though they might not agree and think that you're actually paying attention when you really are? I can tell you what your thought is going to be 8 minutes from now, 23 days from now, what you're going to think based off of this moment. I can do that. I do this. I'm strange because I do this. I dedicate my mind to doing this for some reason. And it makes me mad because it's also a curse, because it makes me frustrated inside. And I have to make that subside when dealing with people, because I know what's coming. And so I'm already annoyed by those things which are in the future based off of the present. And if I can get a hold on that, be good money. But until then, I'm still learning that part and perfecting that part of me. And it's a gift, but like they say, some gifts are curses at the same time. But perfecting happens together. It happens together. And the mistakes, some mistakes are good. You're normally going to get that. Oh, I didn't know you was thinking that. Oh, I didn't know you was going to do that. But when it becomes, my pops taught me this one thing. Second sight about my pops. My pops said, when I was a kid, when I was like 11, 12, he said, Junior, and he actually said it a while back, actually. He said, Junior, I look at it like a dot on the board. I said, what you mean? He said, look, think about it. I said, okay. He said, all right. He said, no. He said, look. He said, listen. He said, a coincidence happens one time. Coincidence. Once you start adding other dots to connect those lines, it becomes habitual. If these mistakes are habitual, then you are not considering the other person. Another person is not considering you. At some point, you can't stop learning each other. Like I always tell my daughters, I said, always pick up a book, study. You're having trouble in school, network down, whatever situation today, you're not learning. Learn something. Figure out what your peers are doing in their school so you will know. And if you need my help, let me know. I don't want you to fall behind. We're always learning something. The problem with a person who is truly dangerous And that's why sometimes the kids can be dangerous too, because they don't want to learn. You have to always increase the desire to learn. And it's hard to do that from distance. So if you're a distant parent, I feel for you. Trust me. I've been there. I'm kind of there. But you're always learning. And the problem is that certain things have to be dealt with before that child gets older. Little inconsistencies in a child, you think it's minor. Oh, no, let them be, no. You know what I'm talking about. I'm doing this for you because you always say that. You know what I'm doing this. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just playing with you though. Don't get mad. I'm just playing. But say no. One time I had to get you one time. But certain inconsistencies within inside our youth is the reason why certain things happen in the future, because they become so smoothly overlooked. For example, a man and a woman are disagreeing. Cop comes. Automatically, even if that man is a good, upstanding man with a high-profile position and getting paid, that woman can say one thing, jack his whole banana up. Why? That situation, it could have been him that done something that he could have done better or responded to a little bit better. But it may have been something in that woman at that time that triggered emotion. And when that man has to be mentally mature and emotionally mature and even spiritually mature to handle that. It's not just one tear. There's two or three tears that you need to deal with a woman as your companion. And the problem is, if certain things become overlooked in that woman, she starts, no matter what or any woman says, you're going to look the other way. You can tell that man that because you want to build confidence in him so he won't start distrusting you. But you know deep down inside, everybody gets that. When you get unfulfilled, you start looking and you notice where you can get that fulfillment from. I've been in situations dating where I was actually looking, and I was smart enough and strong enough to say, I'm not going to touch it. Never. I wouldn't touch it. But at some point you look, and inside you, and a lot of times y'all women, I say y'all, forgive me, for some reason that cliche sentence is wrong to say. But listen, I'm supposed to be doing something right now, but I can't lose this thought. This is kind of prideful, but it's also considerate of y'all, because I'm sharing something that's in my chest. But a lot of times, us men, we're not looking at the bodies. It's just something inside that woman that we relate to. She may say something, we may be talking to you, and she say something to two or three people at a table, dinner table, or she's funny, or she just got this glare that tells you, okay, if she got this glare, there's at least something there that I relate to. It is not always the body when a person has an eye, one eye. Sometimes women and men are just unfulfilled. For example, another thing, when it comes to intimacy, some women require intimacy. You may think I don't know. Trust me, I know. I just don't always give it. Everybody doesn't deserve what you possess inside you. You have to see the value of you. You have to respect and honor your own value before you just throw it at some other people. Hopefully it's the opposite sex. If not, that's your call. That's not my business. The problem I see today is that there's a wide range of women on social media that's giving their essence away, showing their stuff. And I hate to say this, but it hurts. I lost my grandmother. I lost my cousin right before that. Lost my daughter. Almost lost my twins grandmother. And yes, I love you, Miss Mary. Always love you. And I'm not supposed to tell this, but even my real estate agent, she has something going on with her that I can only hope she makes it through. I'm not telling her business. But I'm saying it because that's part of things that are hitting me right now. I care about her. She's good people. Everybody in this moment in time is struggling. And we have to teach our kids to honor that and respect people in the midst of the struggle. We have to look at the struggle and say there's a creator. I fell from 9 feet in the air on my face alone. That's right up there. And I came down. If you look real hard, you can't see it. But you look real hard right there. I had a busted lip down to the white meat. Chipped my nose. Broke my wrist. You can see where the screw was was implanted. They cut it down here, and now it's tiny. But I have a screw right in here. I feel it now. Every time the seasons change, I feel it. Maybe about a week and a half right before the seasons change. I know when the weather is literally changing because the electric magnetic polarity of our world. Our metal comes from rock. Igneous, sedimentary, whatever you want to call it. I don't know how I still remember all this knowledge. Thank you, Creator, for allowing me to be in those classes as a kid. Thank you, Aunt Sheila. She's A1. That's my lady right there. Auntie Vet, I love you too. Auntie Lane, love you much. Aunt Deborah, you too. This world is basically one rock. So the magnetic polarity and the shift, things like that, I'm able to feel. But that's what it is. It's a struggle, man. It's a struggle. But the problem is that when you're struggling, you cannot lose connectivity with the one that's on your team. And if you have to find someone else who fits that mold, I hate to say this story. I told my daughter the other day, Abraham and Isaac. Abraham dumb as shit. Ooh, how about the curse? Abraham dumb as hell. And I told her, I'm not even asking for forgiveness. God better not ask me, Creator better not ask me to sacrifice one of my kids. Why is sacrifice a normal thing? We talk about the powers that be. I'm not going to say the word because everybody knows the words. The higher ups above all this. They give the green light for sacrifice. Even in churches they say sacrifice of praise. Why does it have to just be sacrifice? That's the one thing I don't agree with. You don't sacrifice. Hell, take me. My daughter asked me, if you had to save one person for many, basically the whole world, or let go of that one person for the whole world. Nah, baby girl. Take your daddy so that you and them can live. Besides, even if I haven't, but besides, I've done everything heterosexual. I've done everything except win a Grammy. I've accomplished every goal. We have to continually set goals. But long story short, learn each other and don't put expectations. And if someone is slightly weaker than you in a relationship, find exercises to increase that. And sometimes you don't have to do anything. The Creator will allow certain things in your lives that will make that person stronger. Except if you cry when it's time to learn about how to drive a stick shift. I'm going to talk about you. I ain't going to say your name, but I'm going to talk about you. If you cry when somebody trying to teach you how to drive a stick shift, don't talk to me. Don't say nothing. But anything else, you know what I mean? Y'all see me smiling and laughing. I got to every once in a while, but don't put expectations on people around you. Appreciate them. Because you may not understand why or what they do. Think about it. We're in the physical. You can't understand something that's going on outside of just the physical unless you really take time to think about it. And you're probably not. You're probably not. For example, one more example. I can go. I don't like talking, but when I'm talking, I go. See what they did with David Chappelle, right? He went to Africa. Right before he went to Africa, they made him look crazy. You can work this job, they say something about you. You work that job, they say something about you. You work that job, they say something about you. And all of a sudden, the collective and totality will think that it's you. So let's go back. Is it always the person, or did the collective, each position, were they raised to not understand the subordinates? I guarantee I wouldn't have a whole high volume of turnkey if it was under me. It's a matter of being patient and understanding the people you pay. And there's a difference between the people you pay and the people that's doing things beside you that love you. That's when some people get confused. I've been there as well. It's a learning process because we're all learning. The problem is when you stop allowing that person to learn because you didn't effectively communicate and sit down with that person. Communication is key, but consideration is the cap. You can't cap off communication without considering what that person is telling you. I've been in situations dating where I told certain young ladies certain things and they dismissed it because that only serious. Like, that's why I'm very careful about who I'm serious with. Oh, I don't care. I'm very serious about what woman I'm serious about because there's a certain place that I'm allowing them to even just remotely touch. Being serious. I don't just throw that away, and I get a lot of females get mad at me because I don't care. That part, forgive me or don't. You just don't throw that away. You just don't give that out there. Yeah, you threw me off sending me that text message. But that must mean I'm at the end of my journey of this conversation. When I start losing my train of thought. Or I'm just getting old. I want to play the drums, but much more to do. I gotta get out here and take a drug test, drug screening. Oh, that's right. I was talking about fairness. People, collective thoughts don't determine. A lot of times they may say, he's crazy or she's crazy. Or they may say a child may have ADD, ADHD. That's because you haven't put something in front of that child that will keep their focus. Maybe they've seen things in their childhood. If you ever really go deep, a lot of parents don't talk about what happened between the kids. I mean, in front of them, because of the kids, if they're affected. Because the kid may not remember. But if you be straight and forward with it, so I'm about to piss somebody off. Forgive me. I say forgive me for this one. That child may not really remember that you punched her father 3 times in the mouth, and she was 9 months shaking his pants leg. At 9 months shaking his pants leg, and knew that was wrong. Call a spade a spade. A lot of times we don't discuss and be truthful about things that affect the kids in this time frame. And I'm not trying to do anything or go past and talk about, that's why I'm not saying any names. But I know things, and this is, but that hit me. And forgive me if you're upset with me for saying so. Please forgive me for that, but I have to be truthful. Certain things hit me. Or if the child sees that the father inadvertently scratches mommy on the face. These are things that become traumatic for a kid. If mommy lunges at daddy and daddy tries to prevent it and accidentally scratches mommy in the face, these are things that the kid may see. Hey! What's she doing? Or that child sees daddy carrying mommy out the front door. Oh. Hey! Huh? I'm good, you? And she wearing my color? Ah, everybody wearing my color. So a child may see daddy carrying, mommy throwing ice at daddy. May not see daddy supposedly hit mommy, but eventually down the line, the frustration leads to daddy carrying mommy out the door. Rocking my color. Look good. These things affect children subconsciously when they move forward. They don't know why they respond to certain things, and then their peers may grow up saying, "You weird, you strange." It's because something happened to that kid that kid probably don't even know, don't even remember, because they were so small when they seen it. But who am I? Who am I? To 2 or 3 females in my past, I probably love the shit, the bazooka Joe out of me. But might have some bad unctions when it comes to me. Who knows? I may not be anything, right? Don't see me because you think I don't see you. I don't know. Who am I? Al from the block that used to do things and some things that we don't know about. Who am I? Oh, that's the guy that sung for that church convention when he was a kid, and they tried to put him on Bobby Jones for the longest, and he never did it, even though he was too stupid not to. And then they told him to come to Sunday's Best after the first or second season and bypass the executive producers. He can sing, but he want to rap. My man, rapping is your kryptonite. I know, right? Who knows? Who am I? Who am I? That guy been playing the drums since he was 7. That guy got bronze tennis medals. That guy bowled the game-winning bowl over 200, about 225 for his high school team. Even though he was supposed to be on the football team, but he couldn't get on because his grades. And the only way he could have got on is if he would have joined the track team, but he was too stupid because he didn't think joining the track team would give him girlfriends. And even though his grades would have been jacked up, he would have already been on the football team and probably made it to the NFL team because everybody knew he had the quickest legs. Even the coach already knew about him. Oh, that's the guy that hit the game-winning home run for his little league team in the postseason to win the game, win the postseason. This the guy that directed the choirs. This the guy that had a song just recently last year or two playing in Dallas that he did a feature with somebody else from Cali. But he didn't want to do Lollapalooza, whatever you call that, Coachella, whatever you call that, when they asked him to do it. I don't know who this guy is. This guy, he could still be lyrical, but he thinks he's too old and wants to focus on his kids most priorities before even the age issue. Who's this guy? He don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. He don't know nothing. I don't know. It's the guy that danced in the Paramount Theater in Madison Square Garden when he was 11, about 9 through 12 maybe, you know. Got his name in the newspaper for many things in different cities. Who survived an accident that busted up his ankle, his hip, 3 vertebrae, you know what I'm saying? Herniations. I don't know. Who's this guy? Who's this guy that has certain stigma from certain young ladies? Who's this guy who sees things certain ways but takes hits from a lot of people because they don't see what he sees and a perception that he doesn't, but he doesn't knock them for it, but whatever. Who's this guy? I don't know. Who's this guy who saved a few lives just based off of premonitions? Who's this guy who's always giving out 20s to everybody that he knows when they ask? Who probably can't get it back if he needed it back. Even though he told them he don't need it back, but if he asks, he still can't get it back. Who's probably got it from his pops because his pops used to give everybody money. I'm going to get you, Pop. I'm going to say it. Even though his pops let him go to a church retreat with holes in the back, his sneakers, his shoes. I love you, Pop, but I'm going to say it. Walking in the gymnasium for service. Everybody has their thing, you know what I'm saying? But that was a bad moment. But my pops just always dropped jewels. I give him that. Always drop jewels, you know what I'm saying? On a good note, my pop showed up to my Navy. My pop showed up to my boot camp last minute. That was cool. That was cool. I kind of ruined the graduation picture because I was so elated that he was there. I'm sitting there marching. I do my left turn, right? On the left leg, march. So I was supposed to do that. I'm done after this. I'm just playing. But my pops, he said, "Hey, Swavo! Hey, Junior!" I took the whole line with me this way. Everybody going this way. Hey, yo. It was the funniest thing, but nah, that's it. Just want to just let y'all know that, man. I mean, forgiveness is key. Forgiveness is key. And if you're supposed to be in it to win it, nothing should be able to turn you away from, whether it be your brother, your sister, your cousin, your aunt, your uncle, your mate. Nothing should be able to stop y'all. And even if y'all going through egregious stuff together, how can you say you trust the Creator and don't believe that things can be fixed? It's two mindsets there. You either have confidence in something or not. You can't have love, hate, truth, lies, light, dark, in the same place. And I'm done after that. I keep saying it, but this is the one thing that a lot of kids miss with separate homes. Because after a certain amount of time, the mother is probably not going to have these moments with the kids, and so the kids don't adhere to it when the father tries to initiate these sit-downs, these conversations. I longed for these conversations with my dad. Truth be told. But have a child or two or three grow up in a home with mommy and then battling to be in a home with daddy back and forth. And you try to talk and talk guidance into your child like this, they're not going to receive it because that's not something they're used to. There's things that one parent offers that the other parent does not. And even if this parent adapts and learns certain things that this parent needs to, this parent normally would actually render, this parent can't be everything. So when the other parent comes along and tries to initiate what that child needs, it's an issue with that kid. Oh, I don't only get this from you, so I don't need it. I don't need you. Hopefully you never get that place with that child, but it can happen. It happened a lot. A lot. And then the problem is when the child goes through things when they get older, then they blame you as the parent. You didn't do this, you didn't do that. Pause. It's not that your parent didn't do it. It's that when they tried, you didn't want it. You wasn't receptive. You were soil that didn't want to bear, that didn't want to receive seed. A father is supposed to implant mental seed and guidance. If you're not receptive of that now, how can you be receptive of that later? You're going to find yourself in situations where you're crying out to God, God, why? Crying, I need help. I've been there. I will not say anything else. I've been there. So I know. But when a child doesn't allow you to impart that, a child will never allow you to impart guidance and wisdom and discipline. Think of people who are obese beyond compare. You know, thick is okay. You know what I'm saying? Thick, you know what I'm saying? I'm not dissing people who have extra to them. But I'm talking about the people who are overly like, oh, you can't just expect them to be like, I want to be slim or I want to lose weight. It doesn't happen. It has to be something where they're ready and receptive. So you got to go through things as you get older. Then it's like, okay, now that, and then you say God allowed this to happen. Nah, some things ain't always God. Some things happen because back then you didn't receive what you supposed to get before you left the house, or you turned it away, or you went your own way and tried to be your own man or woman before you left the house. So now, when all hell breaks out in your life when you get older because you didn't listen when you were younger, now you want to say, why God allowed this? Nah, son. Even I had to come to the realization. Some things ain't always the creator. Some things ain't always the devil. Some things are just us. It's just us. For example, education. I slacked off, and then I ended up going to university. A regular community college and a university. But it had to hit me. Sometimes you don't know until you need what you should have been getting. Like a man, he goes after a woman. I hope that 13-year-old ain't still on here. A man goes after, I say it like this, a man goes after that woman for the wrong reasons. She ends up being resentful because she's not getting what she wants, but yet she's staying there and she's not happy. So now they're bouncing back and forth between each other, unhappy, resenting him, until he realizes that he needs and deserves something better. Poof, he's going to keep getting the same thing. And the longer they stay together, not only do they build a resentment, not only do they build baggage, well, let's break down that baggage. All this is, they build, when they say baggage, you're actually conditioning yourself. You're conditioning yourself, and they say imprinting on your own mind. That this is the way it's supposed to be. So now when you go to the next thing, you start off great. What's going on? You start off great, and it's all good and dandy in the beginning. But then the old you kicks in. And because everybody knows you, who don't see you or who have never entered you or you've never entered, they know you, but they don't know you intimately, inside and out, like the person that you were with or was with. You start acting towards them in the manner that you acted towards the man before him, or the man, two men before him, or his baby mama. It's a bad and vicious cycle. And the problem is when the people inside these situations get the blame for something that isn't them. Just because the majority has dealt with paternity issues does not mean that that man is jacked up. It could mean that he just chooses women who haven't fully healed at that time. They may be healed after him. They may have got the clue after him and healed in the right way after that situation that they had. But the problem is when they think that they're overly justified. When that man thinks he's overly justified after that woman. When that woman thinks she's overly justified after that man. As if it was that person that they were with fault. You chose to heal and perfect yourself. You can't blame. I see a lot of people cut off everybody because of that one person. Somebody was upset with me because I didn't do something that they wanted me to do. And they cut it off. They cut off everybody. Like I was the end-all be-all to their ability to maintain bonds and relationships with people because they were literally parasitically leeching on. And it wasn't by personality initially. It was by circumstance, and their circumstance encouraged them to be emotionally dependent and somewhat financially. I be thinking about these things all day. And I'll be sitting there posting other things. These are what I'm really thinking about. And because it's all boiling inside, man, I just be posting sometimes to keep my mind just from look at something that make me laugh. And so being the giver that I am, I want to share laughter and happiness with other people because I'm feeling like doodle. But breaking it all down and being a realist, it eats at somebody. And it's sad that you have to separate yourself away from those type of people. Hell, I was kind of that way in a way when my daughter passed away. I'm still kind of that way because I'm not like I don't really bother. I do want to have good times with people, but I don't have enough strength. I'm still what? Weak. It weakened me. Losing my grandmother, who was my mom, weakened me. My big cousin, who was there at the baby shower, and I didn't expect him to come. We had a conversation for damn near 45 minutes, just chilling and rapping, actually talking. He dies. We all get weak. Even now, me. I was okay before, but all of a sudden, my daughter's like the tipping point. And then you hit me with the home run of my grandmother, man. Like that's it's too much. It's too much. But sometimes it takes things in life to help you understand somebody else. But if they don't understand you, don't give up on them. If you don't understand them, don't give up on them. Because sooner or later we'll all make sense to each other. And then when we actually be transparent enough to make sense to each other, we can actually help each other. Before I actually start getting boo-hoo on this thing. Epiphany over. I gotta go. Me, I love you. Grandma Rose, always. I'm out.